Just looking at the Plateau State Tribunal, where Governor Jonah Jang election was upheld by the Election Tribunal, and we're just looking at the implication of this judgment. Would it bring peace in this region? Of course, Plateau State has been the troubled region, the flashpoint, and lots of peace initiatives have been taking place by the federal government. Peace Support Initiative, where the Chief of Defense Staff has been mandated to be stationed at Plateau State. But now, from this judgment now, would he be extending, that is talking about Governor Jonah Jang, would he be extending the olive branch to the opposing party, and will there be reconciliation of the warring factions, and will there be peace in this region? So, Comrade Yinka Odumake, everything seems to be going in favor of PDP now. What do you have to say to this?
Well, still not surprised, because in Nigeria, once the people are able to take victory at the ballots, either by hook or crook, it's a whole lot of war to get it reversed.
That's right.
And in places where such accident happened, in some states, you saw what happened after, to ensure that doesn't happen again. But more importantly, I think we should draw a line between the question of the contest of power in Plateau State and the question of peace in that state. There's a way there may be some kind of connections, but before this, I think the just crisis has been known now for close to since 2001, and the state emergency declared at a point under Obasanjo that Dari was removed as governor, and so, but being in Jos during the April during the elections, I think I was able to see firsthand how politicians exploit, the Christian, Muslim, the indigenous settlers divisions in Jos to fester their political nest. And I think it's important at this point that political gladiators, they rise above this phrase and ensure that the question of peace becomes much more paramount. Because Jos used to be a haven of peace in this country. Jos was a place that people used to love to go to, but today the place has become a war zone, that within Jos there are boundaries who cannot cross, where Muslims cannot cross to Muslim Christian area, Christian cannot cross Muslim area, and these things have been promoted by political gladiators. So I think that the time has come for the politicians to rise beyond this and maintain peace and ensure that they cooperate and work together.
So, and quickly, Barrister Obani?
It is my view also that that area requires peace, and if the people voted Jonah Jang, and that voting has been confirmed by the court, believing that that is actually the situation, I think everyone in that region, that environment, should share their sword and then begin to embrace peace. We really need peace. People who stayed and schooled or even lived in Jos, if they tell you how that place used to be very peaceful and enjoyable, place, and now it has become a war zone, it is not bringing happiness to most of those people who have lived there. And so we want a peace to actually reign supreme in that environment. And anything that can be done, if as you rightly pointed out, let Jang himself, extend the hand of olive branch to the former deputy, and let them close their this and all.
Thank you very much, Barrister Obani, and that pushes us to make a shuttle to Kano State, northern Nigeria, where the governorship election tribunal again upheld the victory of Governor Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso of PDP, and talking about the governorship election of April 26, 2011 this year, and delivering the judgment in the petition filed by Alhaji Sagir Takai of All Nigeria People's Party, ANPP. The chairman of the tribunal, Justice Iyabo Kasali, said petitioner failed to satisfy the tribunal with evidence beyond reasonable doubt. And looking at the Kano election, that's a rivalry between Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso and Sagir Takai. From the result of the April 26, Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso recorded what could be called a lawful vote cast of 1,107,000, with Sagir Takai with 1,046,000 lawful votes. And that seems
too close to call.
Yeah, and we just quickly look at this again. Everything is still, the tidal wave is still in favor of PDP.
It's an uphill task for you to succeed in, or sitting somebody who has been declared a winner by INEC. It's very, very difficult, because as we rightly pointed out, the onus is now shifted to the petitioner. And when you also allege crime, when you allege electoral fraud, because fraud is a crime, then you have entered into the realm of proving beyond reasonable doubt. So when that doubt is still in the mind of the electoral tribunal people, then you are in trouble, because you may not succeed in, getting the man, on sitting the governor that has been declared winner by INEC. So it's a very uphill task. So that's why Nzeribe himself, used to give a political, what do I say now, a solution. According to him, try as much as possible to win election. Let INEC declare you the winner. That's the umpire. And so let the opponent go to court. Because when you have won, it's very, very difficult convincing the judge or whosoever is there to remove whoever has been declared winner by the umpire. That's Nzeribe's style. Nzeribe said, don't allow your opponent to defeat you at the electoral booth. Try as much as possible to be the one to be declared the winner. So let your opponent go to court. And that's what Lagos State have done now.
Barrister Bani, I think we'll be connecting with the sight and sounds from Kano State.
Okay.
Judgment. Security operatives make a bold statement of not being in the mood for trouble. For those who pass the test on the street, they still have to be scanned by more security personnel. All of this because of the petition instituted by the ANPP governorship candidate Salihu Takai, challenging Kano State Governor Rabiu Kwankwaso's victory at the polls. For exactly 2 hours, the presiding judge held everybody in the courtroom in suspense, articulating her points one after the other to build up the logic that would serve as a basis for her judgment. Counsel to the ANPP candidate Mahmood Magaji had alleged that the conduct of the election in 23 local government areas of the state was fraught with irregularities ranging from multiple voting, underage voting to financial inducement, which he argued amounted to substantial non-compliance with the provisions of the Electoral Act as amended. But Justice Kasali disagreed with the submissions of counsel to Takai, insisting that the majority of the complaints made by the petitioner are false, ridiculous and wanton in substance, as they do not provide sufficient grounds for the tribunal to nullify the April governorship election.
The petition is lacking in merit and is accordingly dismissed. The tribunal hereby upholds the election held on the premises of April 2011 in respect of the governorship election in Kano State, and affirms the return of the first respondent, Mohammed Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, as the winner of that election as declared by the third respondent.
Back in town, wild jubilations hold sway in Kano as thousands of PDP supporters and admirers of the governor took to the streets of Kano to celebrate. They later poured into the state government house to show their support for the governor, who in turn dedicated his victory at the tribunal to the people of the state.